This week's Parsha is Parshas Behaaloshcha. Behaaloshcha, at the very end, speaks of the words Miriam spoke about her brother Moshe, the leader of Klal Yisrael, the leader of the Jewish people. Moshe, because of his constant communications with Hashem, direct communications with Hashem, had to have a very high level of ritual purity. For that reason, he felt it was necessary that he had to separate from his wife. Basically, a person who has been intimate has to go through a purification process, which was not practical for Moshe because at any point in time, Hashem could communicate with him. Miriam, who was also on a level of prophecy as Moshe was, did not separate from her husband, and therefore did not understand why Moshe felt the need to separate from his wife. Therefore, she spoke to Aaron, Moshe's brother, her brother also, about Moshe's conduct, and they were trying to rectify the situation. They were trying to do a good thing. Nonetheless, what Miriam spoke, was considered Lashon Hara, and therefore she was punished by Hashem. Now Hashem, before creating the punishment for Miriam speaking Lashon Hara, tells Miriam and Aaron what they did wrong and why what they did was wrong. He tells them that Moshe's level of prophecy is much higher, is a much clearer vision of God, and it's also on a daily basis. It could happen at any point. Therefore, Moshe had to separate from his wife because it was simply impractical for him to be consistently have a state of purity while being married to his wife, while living with his wife. Now, from here we learn, Rashi says, that a person must always tell a person who has become infuriated or has become agitated or has some type of issue with another person, the first step is always to relay what issue you have with that other person. Many times we harbor hatred for other people, and therefore it causes a rift which the other person doesn't even know exists. Hashem himself shows us that the proper way to fix a relationship is by first expressing to the other what issue you have. What is the specific issue? Because without the other person knowing what issue you have with them, they have no way of rectifying it or correcting your mistaken assumption. That's what Rashi says. Now the story goes on and says that that Miriam spoke about Moshe, these Lashon Hara, and because of that she got tzara. She got what's called spiritual leprosy, not actual leprosy. At that point, Aaron requests from Moshe to please speak to God, pray to God to remove Miriam's leprosy, her tzaras. And the words that Aaron uses are very famous. We use them all the time. Al nasa sheis aleinu chatas asher noyanu asher chatanu. Do not carry over our heads this sin, for we were foolish, and that's why we sinned. What's so interesting about this is that during Slichos, in the period before Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and also on different points of the year, when we have days where we specifically ask Hashem for more forgiveness, we say these words, but we don't say them in reference to another person. We're not saying to another person, do not carry above us this, do not carry on our heads this sin. We're saying it to Hashem. What an interesting thing that, and I don't think we see this many other places, where a statement which was said in reference to relationship between man and another man, a human being and another human being, we're using in our relationship with Hashem as saying, Hashem, I know we have sinned before you, but do not carry over our head this chatas, this sin. That's the first thing I wanted to share. Number two, the question is that when Moshe speaks to Hashem, when he prays to God and says, Kel narafon Allah, same episode, he's praying for Miriam. He's praying that Miriam should no longer be afflicted by the tzaras, by the leprosy. It says, Leimor. It says that Moshe spoke to Hashem saying. What this means normally, and what it means over here actually also, is that Moshe was looking for a response. When you speak to someone and there's an expectation of a response, you use those words leimor. Like many times it says, Vayidabra Hashem el Moshe leimor. Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, which means that Moshe should relay it to another. So either it means that you should relay it to another, or there should be a response back. So Rashi says that this is one of the 4 places where Moshe spoke to Hashem and requested an answer. The problem is that Rashi doesn't go into any more elaboration. Why was Moshe specifically asking for an answer from Hashem this time? He was davening to Hashem, please give Miriam a refuah, give her a recovery from her spiritual ailment. And now all of a sudden Moshe wants to know, I want to know whether you're going to cure her or not, or whatever response Moshe was looking for. Why over here all of a sudden is there an expectation of response? Have a good Shabbos.